Hey yo, if you struggle to get people to show up to their appointment, and then when they're at the appointment to actually commit to a treatment plan, this video is going to be very beneficial for you because we're going to be going over the differences between inbound and outbound marketing. You see, a lot of the times we'll try to make tiny tweaks and adjustments in our marketing process instead of actually analyzing where our traffic's coming from by channel. It would be similar to if someone was living in a dusty house and it's making them sick and continuously buying medicine to fix their stuffy nose instead of actually cleaning the house. In this scenario, it would be better to address the problem by the root cause instead of just finding a temporary solution to the symptoms. So in this video, we're going to go over what inbound and outbound marketing are, how they work, when to use each of them, and then which is the right type of marketing to use for your clinic specifically. So to start out, what is inbound marketing? Essentially, inbound marketing is any type of marketing where the prospect is coming to you, engaging with your business for help to their problem. So some examples of this would be organic traffic from SEO, which would be like your website. And SEO is just a fancy term for basically the placement of your website whenever someone searches for something. So like if they search like a certain phrase, maybe your website pops up number 1, maybe it's on page 8, hopefully not, but it could be. Another example of inbound traffic or inbound marketing would be posting organic social media content, whether that be posting on Instagram, posting on Facebook, posting on YouTube, different platforms, etc. So in general, inbound traffic is going to have a higher, more exponential growth curve than outbound marketing. I'm going to go over outbound marketing in a second. But some pros and cons for inbound marketing. Starting off with pros, it builds long-term trust and authority. Think about it. With you establishing yourself as a business presence wherever you post, or just by being at a certain location, by proxy, you're going to build trust. Think about someone pulling up to your website and you have a record of testimonials and past clients you've worked with. You have irrefutable proof that you've done what you're claiming to do and you've helped others in the past. So that automatically, on a surface level, builds your authority and trust with a prospect that looks at your business. Secondly, another pro is lower lead cost over time. So essentially let me bring out the pen here. With inbound traffic, it'll start out like really expensive and then start to kind of plateau and gradually over time go down. Maybe not like this much, but over time you should see a decrease in how much it's costing you for the work that you're doing. So it's kind of something that works on in the background to really establish you as that authority in your area. And then a third pro is it attracts higher intent patients. Think about it. If somebody's looking for your business, you kind of have that edge because you're already seen as that go-to authority. And then secondly, having that history by proxy just puts you in a position where you're knowledgeable on whatever topic or area your business is in. And so by nature, it should attract higher intent people that, okay, they want to do this and they're ready to make a decision right now, not 2 weeks, not 6 months down the line. Oh, maybe I'm thinking, no. Typically, you attract higher intent patients. So some of the cons of this are it typically takes a longer time to see results, like tangible results. In this case, it would be patients committing to treatment plans that you guys offer. And then I say typically, but there are some workarounds and some other cases where it doesn't take as long as people think. Secondly, it normally requires consistent content. It's something you got to continuously work on, and over time, you'll be rewarded for more than you do. And then third, it needs good SEO and content strategy. Essentially, you just need to be strategic in what you're doing so that the consistent efforts you are deploying actually pay off in the end. Because you can be doing That's another thing. Like, you could be doing a lot, but if you're not doing the right thing, it will never work. So knowing what to do and like how to execute on whatever you're doing is crucial to succeed with inbound marketing. So next, what's outbound marketing? Outbound marketing is the opposite. It's when you're reaching out to a prospect or engaging with a prospect first. So this could be running Facebook ads, doing cold email outreach to possible potential partner, like other businesses that are similar. You guys could refer clients to each other. Maybe it's doing some billboard placements around your city. So basically, you're projecting or portraying a message to them first. So the note right here, if you're running outbound campaigns without proper lead nurturing, you're literally burning ad dollars. And going back to the funnel, if you're not running outbound campaigns without proper lead nurturing, you're burning ad dollars. So in the sales funnel, there should be a card right here, and that has a video me going over this. But essentially, in this nurture phase, which is right here, in this phase right here, it's crucial that you spend some time to give the prospect adequate information on your service, especially your service and your product that you're offering. Because especially in the healthcare industry, a ton of people are cautious about what they're doing, like what they're associated with, what they put in their body, and how it affects their overall lifestyle. So educating the prospect on your process and how it affects them, and kind of eradicating misconceptions that they have that aren't true, is crucial in this nurture process. Because usually with inbound, they're coming to you because you're educating them in some way. With inbound, you're either educating them or they've been educated in some sort of fashion. So like referrals, if a friend refers someone to a business, that friend is going to tell them their experience or the experiences that they've heard. And so they've already had the education. So when they come to you, they're already educated. Whereas outbound, you're reaching out to the prospect first, and so they don't have that prior education typically. Or even if they have education, oftentimes they don't have enough education to really come in to the consultation informed on your process and what separates your business specifically. So spending time to really educate the lead and prospect in the nurture stage of the funnel is immensely important. So going over some pros with outbound, it's quick visibility. Like you can run up an ad and have patients in the door within the same week. So it's like a really fast feedback loop. Second, it can be highly targeted. There should be a card right now showing up on the screen, or maybe it should already showed, where I talk about some of the targeting and basically how to target different type of people that you want for your business. In that video, I go over like demographics and psychographics, but I won't go over that in this video because I already did in the other one. And then thirdly, it's good for new clinics looking for momentum. Again, there's fast visibility and a fast feedback loop. So if you want data quick and you want to get patients in the door like immediately, you can put out an ad, and then within a couple of days, Facebook's algorithm is incredibly advanced. Or it doesn't have to be Facebook. It could be Google ads, can be Instagram ads, whatever you're doing. A lot of the technology today is extremely advanced and can target the exact, your ICP, ideal client profile, essentially the exact avatar person that you want walking through the door to show up to an appointment to eventually commit to a treatment plan. Some cons. So it can be expensive over time, especially you think about Facebook, you think about Google. They're tech companies and they want a profit. And so they're going to be incentivized to make you spend more money so that they have more money and they profit. So it can get pretty expensive over time, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Secondly, leads can be cold. They don't have, like I said in the nurture stage, for inbound, they get that prior education, whether it be from like the content you're posting or from people they're reaching out to, or maybe articles they're looking at. That might have not been you, but if you're reaching out to them first, you shouldn't expect them to have that prior education and be informed on your service offering. So they can be colder, which means it can be a tougher sell to make. And third, ROI may decrease without good follow-up systems. Again, just making sure you have that back-end system dialed in of, okay, here's what we're going to send the prospect to know more about our business. Here's what we're doing as like when they walk into the door. Just having that back-end system dialed in operations of, okay, we're going to take the prospect through this client journey. So next, kind of understanding the hormone therapy landscape. Unlike fast consumer products, hormone therapy is like deeply personal and a long-term decision, because it doesn't just affect them like today, this week, this month. It literally affects their whole life. Like once they take something, it's in their system and they're going to feel it. And that's, on the other hand, that's exactly why there's change, because these treatment plans work. Moreover, that's why marketing must build trust before patients even step into the office. Again, going back to that nurture sequence or nurture stage in the funnel, it's so important that you educate them, because you don't know how much education they've had. So it's better to just put everything out there and have them over educated, whatever that means, but just throw so much information where it'd be unreasonable for them not to feel at least comfortable stepping into the office. Because if they step into the office, they're not educated, and then they also feel uncomfortable, that's just another obstacle in the way of you having good fits inside your office. So yeah, it's the hormone therapy market, it's pretty sensitive, and you guys know that. You've been running your businesses for quite some time. You know it's really sensitive. And also rising competition from online providers, the battle between online providers and local physical locations is only going to get worse. That's why visibility and trust are crucial and critical for your business. And then another thing is that a unique challenge is that most patients are doing research before choosing a clinic. So it's important what you are putting out is different from what everybody else is putting out, because then there's nothing to decide on. They're just going to base their option on price, and then it just becomes a price war instead of actually selling your service based on the value you're providing. So let's do a comparison. So we have Clinic A doing only outbound. They're spending $6,000 a month on ads. Let's call it Facebook ads. They get 90 leads, and from those 12 bookings, let's just assume that this is clean data. I know it varies per location. At the end of the period, or the end of the month, because they're spending $6,000 or however long you're running it, they still struggle with no-shows and cold leads, because again, if that back-end operation in the nurture stage, let me pull it up, in the nurture stage of the funnel is not dialed, the leads are literally just gonna slip through. It's like, imagine there's holes here. Like, just imagine there's holes. Imagine there's those holes. Probably should have done another color, but imagine there's holes here. They're literally just gonna slip through, and then they won't progress forward. So we need to make sure that our process is dialed from a communication standpoint, and patch the holes to make sure that they don't slip out. And there's a lot of things that goes into that. So making sure they don't slip out to bring them along this funnel. Now Clinic B. Clinic B is only doing inbound. They invest $3,000 in content and SEO, half of what Clinic A is. They get 500 website visits. They have 50 plus email subscribers weekly. And from that, they get 15 plus consults a month from organic traffic. Plus, it's not said here, but the traffic here is way warmer because the prospect is going to the business, and while they're reaching out to the business, they're getting educated through the different pieces of content that they're doing or whatever is on their website through SEO. And then once they show up to the clinic, first of all, there's a higher chance of showing up because they've already built this relationship and liking towards a certain brand. And then once they show up to that appointment, they're showing up informed and already know what your process is like, what separates you from all the other businesses in the area or even online at that point. So you're probably wondering, what is the right strategy for your clinic? So the answer, use outbound if we'd recommend use outbound if you're launching a new clinic and you want to see immediate leads. And you'd also have to have the budget for ads, and sales follow-up. So making sure that process, I should actually underline that. It's so important that sales and that back-end operations process of taking them through that nurture sequence is dialed. Like, I cannot stress enough and emphasize how important that is. However, with inbound, you want to use inbound when you want more long-term growth. Maybe you have an established practice and you're really looking for that legacy play. Like, you want to stick around for a long time. Then we recommend you use inbound. You have an expert staff who can create educational content. This could also be delegated to a different team. Quick plug, if you'd like some help with inbound and outbound, there should be a link below to book a call with either me or my team, and we'll jump on and see if we're a good fit to work together. Thirdly, you're tired of chasing leads. Nobody likes chasing leads, especially uninformed, uneducated leads. They just waste time and they're uninformed and they just have no idea what your business does. So it's literally a waste of time. Everybody would love that leads show up informed, show up educated, and show up committed to making the decision on the spot. Okay, I want this treatment plan because, of course, after your education on the consultation, addressing what symptoms they're feeling and basically how they're showing up to just move forward with your business. This is what organic content does. It educates them and gets them to like, know, and trust you in order to make that decision when it comes to showing up to that consultation to pick a treatment plan or move forward with a treatment plan. However, what we've seen is clinics that use both concurrently do the best. Initially, most of their focus is on outbound to generate momentum, and then as they scale, they put more effort and attention to inbound to build long-term authority. So just to draw this out, let me build a frame real quick here. So let's say, get the pen out. Say you have a graph right there for SEO. It's in this color. SEO, like we said, it typically starts out slow, takes longer over time, and then it'll exponentially increase. Whereas, pick a good color here. Whereas outbound, you can experience quick results, yeah, but like it'll reach a point where it'll start to get more expensive. So the firms that do both, what we actually do, we found a system that feeds each other. So this space right here, the SEO feeds the ads to work well in the meantime. And then over time, SEO is just a bit quicker. But that's what happens. When you have both working for you, that long-term play of SEO, you'll get great results. And then that long-term play of, or that starting play of outbound marketing. So you're covered on both fronts. If outbound marketing doesn't work per se, in one moment you still have inbound marketing. Whereas if inbound marketing doesn't work, you have outbound. Running both concurrently can be highly beneficial because you're not only relying on one. If one pillar falls, you have the other one. If this pillar falls, you'll probably have this one. So the green is outbound. Let's just say like Google Ads. I don't know. Lovely handwriting here. But you guys get the point. Just making sure that you're covered on both fronts is what we've seen work best. So, what are some potential next steps you can move forward with today? Essentially, just take inventory of your business presence, your business's brand, trust, packaging, and offer. How is your business showing up in the marketplace? What do people think about the brand that your business has? How much do they trust your business? With packaging, what's the price and features that they're getting with the product or service that you offer? What end result or dream outcome are you trying to get your patients that walked through the door? This could be auditing your website. Maybe your SEO is not optimized. Maybe you don't have trust established. Maybe that's looking at your Google business profile and collecting more reviews. Maybe that's committing to a content plan and writing 2 blog posts per month. Maybe that's starting a YouTube channel, answering frequently asked questions like, is TRT safe? Just addressing those preconceived notions that people have gained from whether they read a random article or some viral TikTok video starts trending. There's tons of misinformation online, so setting the record straight and accurately informing prospects before they even walk into your clinic, so you don't have to address it while they're in your clinic, could be beneficial. Maybe that's testing paid ads, running a small local campaign to gauge the cost per lead in your area. Maybe that's automating email follow-ups and creating welcome series to start the prospect on the right foot with your business. So that's just a couple options to think of. There's many more that you could do. And yeah, overall, inbound and outbound are tools, not enemies. The key is knowing how and when to use each to grow your hormone therapy clinic efficiently for your own scenario. Again, if you don't have the budget, maybe you start out with one over the other, or maybe you should commit to both. It totally varies depending on the scenario you're in. So just assessing that again from the root problem / cause instead of a symptom, just putting a temporary solution to the symptom is going to help your business in the long run. So that's the video. Again, if you'd like help implementing and assessing what quality traffic is coming from the different sources or the different channels that you're using, it should be a link below to book a call with either me or my team, and we'd be happy to walk you through what we think and just get an overall gauge of how your business is doing in terms of how it selects the different channels of traffic that you can get. So yeah, that's just the video. Comment down below what you like to see in the future and if this information was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.